James Hicks here, Hicks New Media and Technologist Forum, right? Just want to sit and have Q&A, want to have AMA, ask me anything. There will be, I believe, some colleagues of mine jumping on to discuss some things that they're going through. I know a couple of folks are saying they're having some issues setting up some websites and things like that. So we're just going to try to work through it. I really use a time to help and assist and provide value to folks that are either have questions about pieces of technology, be it either hardware platforms, software platforms, services platforms, and things of that nature, especially for those in the content creation ecosystem, right? So a lot of us are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs who are telling stories, turning on these lights, pressing record, and engaging in hopefully valuable conversations. And nobody knows everything, but we do know something, and we can hopefully bring some value to folks who may be looking for some of those answers. So pop in the comments, ask your questions. I will be probably walking through some personal selfish things that I want to work on as well. I'm going to be working on some of the items in my merch store. So shouts out to Fourth Wall on that, because I've been working really exclusively with them just in terms of creating some quality gear. Shouts out, you see your boy rocking some gear, so I got that on. Going to work on some opus clips and micro content. So every aspect of this show is going to be cut down into bite-sized, shareable pieces of content to go out on online as well. So I'm going to be working through that, and again, open to any questions that you have. So this will be a working session. I see some folks jumping in backstage, so let me just start bringing folks on, man. And we can work these out. Look, I got podcast extraordinaire jumping in, man. What it do, brother? Come on off mute, Mr. Corey Gums. Podcast extraordinaire. How you living, brotber?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Come on, man. You know your audio is always right. I
What's
can
up,
always
bro?
hear you.
How you doing today?
Listen, I'm doing what we can do, man. Just want to come out here and try to bring some value. I told some brands that I'm working with that I do this technologist forum and do some things for them as well, but I think it just makes sense to come on and especially bring some good cats on like you, and let's just have a conversation.
Yeah, the other guys are on their way.
See, I'm not gonna say it. We live, so I'm not gonna say what I want to say. But I tell you what, audience is tuning in. This is gonna be cut up as well. Tell folks who you are and what is it you do, man, because you the real deal, and I want folks to be aware of who Corey Gump is.
Oh, my name's Corey Gums. I am the founder of the Black Podcasters Association, which is an online community for Black podcasters and professionals within the podcast industry. And we just basically are a community about support, networking, education. And I work with a lot of Black content creators to help them raise the standard and improve what they're doing and try to achieve the goals that they want to do in this podcast / content creation space.
No, out here in these podcasting streets, content creation. So I mentioned you in a tweet to Eden Liu. I don't know if you saw the tweet, because she's actually going to be in New York for a conference. She's the community manager for Camo. You familiar with the platform called Camo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So she's good people. So hopefully you guys can connect and do some things. She's a creator herself, even though she's a community manager for that platform. But she's a creator too. And listen, open a door that you probably only had cracked open. Right? Who knows?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. You know, that's one thing I love about this space is all the introductions that everybody makes and the support you get. So, and I try to bring that to my community as well. So this seemed like this week has been that kind of week for me because like I got introduced to several people this week. But I'll check Twitter. I'll check my Twitter.
Check that out because you, like I said, I tagged you and she responded. So she said she's definitely going to try to look for you if you guys connect. Talk to me a little bit about what's jumping off in your space though, just because again you're audio centric, you're audio focused, right? I'm video centric, and my audio has to sound good as well, right? I mean that's paramount. But again, my main thing is making sure that these lights and these LUTs and these all that stuff is right. But you're audio centric. Talk to me about what's jumping off in the podcast space right now. Do you see anything exciting, new, or we just building and expanding? What's going on?
To be fair, I kind of I was in the process of moving and stuff, so I'm kind of I'm playing catch up this weekend. But I think one of the big things I saw come across the conversation's been had is the slowdown in new podcasts.
Mm,
And I think for some people it's throwing up smoke signals or a sign of that there's a issue. Or also they look at it as like a self-corrective, being self-corrective, where you don't see as many people jumping into podcasting and then pod fading out. So I think that's important. Still up in the air about whether this is a good sign or not for the industry as a whole. I think, me personally, I think it's a good sign for people who are in it, because now you have an opportunity to build your audience,
yeah.
because listenership is still up. It's just the new podcast being created. So it's an opportunity, if you're already there, to like kind of seize the moment and try to position yourself, and capture some of those audiences that may be looking for new shows because their podcasts that they may have listened fizzled out, or the content's not being created because not people are not creating new podcasts. So
I wonder,
um
do you think folks feel that the market is saturated? That's the problem, or either saturated or so many of the other big names, right? You got your big celebrities and your big entertainers coming out with big dollars, and they're making the big marketing splash, and folks are wondering, why should I do it? Just curious.
um you always the whole thing in the market being saturated has always been a thing with podcasting, which is weird because it's a fairly new industry. And the past 2-3 years, because of COVID, we saw a huge influx and all this money being thrown in. And now we're starting to see the effects of that, where companies are cutting budgets and shutting down podcasts and stuff like that. But I don't think there's a saturation, because when you look at the number of how many podcasts there are to how many podcasts are active,
Mm,
it's only like 15% of
come
that
on,
is
okay,
active. So, and while maybe in America it seems like it's plateaued, but you have other markets opening up in other places, like Africa
yeah.
and like India and South America. So it's just it's an opportunity for you as a content creator or podcaster to just kind of, this is where I say being consistent and just stick it out comes in, right? Because it's not a lot of competition. Despite, I think the celebrity thing makes it seem like it,
Mm-hmm.
because they have so much,
Because they're making the most noise, right?
right,
They're the ones
yeah.
making the most noise.
I mean, you can't help it. Look, they're celebrities. They have
Yeah,
marketing machines behind them and all that stuff. But there's still a lot of room for independent podcasters in this space to really do big things with their content.
that's
I
crazy. It's
think I
crazy.
think people need to really just evaluate, like, who, like, the biggest problem I see is when you talk to people, it's like, who's your audience?
Yeah,
And that's where the issue happens.
I was gonna say, that's crazy that you mentioned something about geez, what was it? Know your audience, right? Because again, it seems, I think by default we stick with our first language, right? We stick with just English. We stick with just the United States, as opposed. I mean,
Mhm.
we're global, right? When we turn these lights on and we press record and we do all those things, we can be and we should be global. And we've seen a lot of video creators do a lot of that, especially with closed captions, with a lot of SRT files where they're putting in different languages, going through their analytics and seeing where more of an audience is looking. So you're seeing folks from India, you're seeing folks from Africa, you're seeing all these other folks that are listening to or watching your content. And if you're not tailoring to them, making it easy for them to consume by using some technology, using some AI, and maybe transcoding your voice into German, hey, do the thing, right? I mean, if we only
Yeah.
stick with just the folks that we know on on our street and in our city and in our block, then we're doing a disservice to ourselves. That's a really interesting point that you mentioned about there. I like that.
I think you also gotta, if you're creating the content, or you're talking to people, or you're trying to focus on expanding on a global, I think you guys still have to take time. If you're gonna concentrate on the population in India, it might you might do a little research on the cultural stuff, so that you can like localize the content without that reaches across the board, but you can localize it a little bit too, right?
That makes
Um
sense.
so
Yeah,
that, because I mean, I'm in New York, so I get a lot of touches on different cultures here in New
you
York
got
City,
everything, brother.
but not
You in the
everybody gets
Mecca,
that, right? So like I
right?
know,
You in the Mecca.
I literally cross the street. I'm in a predominantly Indian neighborhood, or I go,
Love
I
it
go
too.
travel 10 minutes, I'm in a predominantly Korean neighborhood. So it's like I get to experience those things, but not everybody has that option. And we had the option of going to school for a lot of various groups of people. So I got, going over friends' houses. So I understand certain cultural things and stuff. But if you're saying I want my content to reach a global scale, then you gotta consider other people, like how they consume or how context works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because certain words don't mean, the whole transliteration thing it doesn't always coincide. It doesn't always translate well. So, but I like the AI idea, and I've seen some people playing around with the AI, putting your voice into German and stuff. And I have an idea for a podcast, and I was thinking I would have to hire local, like people, native speaking people.
Right.
Now I'm like, well, maybe I could just do it and just hear myself in like 20 different languages.
I tell you what. So hold on, we gonna walk through some, because I'm gonna show you some things. You iOS or you Android?
iOS.
I knew I liked you, man. God, okay, hold on. We gonna go. I'm gonna show you. We gonna show some things. Let me bring a couple. Oh, look at all these folks coming in. Look at these CP brothers coming in. Well, okay. Let me bring them on in order. Let me bring these brothers on in order first. Come, listen to that. Worthy retail. Can I say that? Can I say podcasters live? I don't know who I can say. Talk to me, man.
I know.
I don't know who you are. You wearing all the hats.
It's retail leadership now with Steve Worthy. That's what we're talking about today.
I ain't mad at that. Let me zoom in on the box back there. With the Maxell metal tapes probably in it. The TDKs. Talk to us a little.
That's a picture.
Oh, is that right? That's not the real. I thought maybe you had a whole bunch of double D. I mean D-size batteries in there. Let me get my get my adjectives correctly. I can cut that out. Let me get my adjectives correct. See if you have 4 size D batteries in that thing.
Oh, dude! I mean, maybe more than that. Sometimes it was 8.
I remember.
Yeah, man. Those things took. They were batteries, suck. But you know what? You look cool when you, especially when you had the one with the little EQ on it.
See, there you go, brother. You flashing, but some of these cats don't know. I'm gonna bring the youngster on because he don't know what we're talking about in a minute. But I tell you what, I had Corey say what's up with him, and I'm gonna get to your comment in a second, Walter. I see your brother. We're gonna get to your comment in a second, but Steve, tell the folks who you are, man, because you out here doing big things, and you don't, just like me, you don't sleep. So talk to the folks real quick. Give us the elevator pitch.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm Steve Worthy, founder and CEO of Worthy Retail. So we focus in on senior retail leaders, helping them understand a little bit more who they are so that they can grow profitably personally and also professionally. So we do this with our coaching, training, and our mentorship program. So that's what I've been doing. And right now we're actually in the process of launching what we call our learning community, and it's called The Campus. That actually launches in January 10th of 2024. That is for multi-unit leaders who are thinking about growing in a community that's kind of not where they normally are, but growing in a community that's specifically geared towards them. Because one of the things that we've identified within a retail industry is that the training kind of stops. And as a leader, you need to continue to grow. So we help provide and bridge that gap from where a leader is to where it is that they want to be.
My goodness. But it's supposed to fit on a business card. That's your elevator pitch, right? I love it though, man. You out there killing it. I want to talk to you a little bit when I bring the other cat on here in a minute about what you're doing with your newsletter, about Substack, all the stuff that you're doing. But let's go and let this young brother call.
So what's up, y'all?
WG2.
There he is.
Talk to us, man.
I thought we had an age limit on this one.
Well, again, see, we're not talking about the boxes because he don't know, and he don't remember. He don't know about cardboard out there in the middle of the street, and he don't know.
I got some cardboard in the garage. I could spin.
You got Amazon boxes. Is what you got.
I could roll. If I put enough together, I'm ready. Just give me some tape.
It's on the breakdance.
He don't know.
He's talking about bringing out cardboard to breakdance.
He don't.
Isn't it cardboard? Y'all were using cardboard?
See, I'm gonna take you off the screen. Look,
man, y'all stop messing with me.
I know, man. Get right before you end up getting booted again. WG2, tell the folks who you are, man, and I want folks to understand the caliber of folks that we got on the screen right now. Give us your elevator pitch, brother.
Here's my elevator's pitch, way shorter than Steve's. I help scale media companies. I was brought on to this huge broadcast company to help them launch a podcast network. I help businesses dive into content. I'm really deep into this world of content creation and marketing, both from an independent level and also organizations, helping them grow.
My goodness. I'm hiring you just out the gate right with that. I come in and I help
I'm ready.
businesses.
That's right.
I'm loving. Hold on. Everyone got the dope backgrounds. I'm gonna say that, but Walter, I'm loving the little, the retro look you got right there. I don't know what that is, but I'm getting vibes of like 75, 79.
You know what it is?
I'm
They're
getting
all hair picks. Hair picks. It all ties into how I even
sure
started
is.
getting into this
Oh,
with
shoot.
yeah,
natural hair conversations. That's right.
Yeah.
Also, working while black advocate.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
It sure
yeah.
is. Look at that. This boy got okay.
I was about to say I'm looking at the George Jeffersons. I was about to say I'm moving on up.
That's the vibes I was getting, but that's real dope. Is that a green screen or is that actually your wall?
It's real. Put it up. Took a long time to put it up, but
I
yeah,
bet
it's
it did
black
too.
artists.
I love it, man. I love it.
Mhm.
Let me get to this question, man, because our dude is asking a question. Mr. Walter Strong is asking this of you, Corey, man. He said, "What part of New York you based in?" Let me get these comments
Queens,
right first.
baby. Queens get the money. Queens. Jamaica Queens. South Side.
Nothing. Where my joint at?
Oh, he gonna look for some music. Now, what you looking for? A Nas hit? You looking for
He's
that
gonna play the
Nas
bridge.
hit?
Nah, the bridge is over. Here we
Hey,
go.
don't get James copyright stricken.
Yeah, don't.
The bridge is over. The bridge is
The stream is going down the hill already. Listen,
That was quick.
That was quick, right? Again, I can cut all that out. Let me ask, because again, this was mainly around technology questions and just how we're leveraging platforms and software and things of that. And in a second, I'm gonna go over captions.ai for you, Corey, because what we were just talking about. But let me go with you, Walt. Are you leveraging anything to help with the delivery of your content? Right? Are you doing anything to help with sending it out to more of the masses, right? When you create a piece of content, are you using any platform, software, hardware, service, whatever the case may be? Are you hiring someone to help you with the marketing efforts, the distribution? That's the word I'm looking for. Are you helping with distribution?
Distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah. We naming tools and all that. Just giving them everything.
Man, this isn't our show. We
All right.
not paid. Well, we paid, but I'm making okay. I'm not gonna get into that too.
Well, I'll just mention it. So I'm using it's a Norby. I started using it. I think probably known for a link in bio, but it's really a CMS tool. But I like it because it has the link in bio feature you put on social. It also has landing pages. It also has SMS. It has email, and I think it has like some blog functionality as well. It's a newer app.
How do you spell it?
Norby. Yeah, I'm liking it a lot. Using that to basically bring everything together in one place. I had a lot of different tools before, and I got with this one because someone who I was in this accelerator program with was using it as an ambassador for it. I just liked it. It just works really well. I like the people behind it too. So yeah, that's the content delivery tool. Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is brand new. So talk a little bit about that, because typically when I have a conversation with folks, I like to give 3 options, right? So I see 2 options already, but I want to make sure that I'm not overstepping. So talk to us a little bit about what Norby does as well.
Yeah. So Norby communication, kind of like a digital branding, and I'll say those 2. Oh, and then also commerce as well. I think those 3 areas is kind of where it's in. So it has like a landing page feature that you could search through Google, like as a website, or just as, like I mentioned before, a link in bio, so alternative to Linktree and all that stuff. But I like it because you could see all the data. You don't have to pay extra for that. Communication, in a sense where it has email, newsletters, email marketing stuff, and then also SMS, so text messages. And then commerce, in the sense where you could actually sell things. You could have paid events, maybe like a paid access to an ebook. You could pay directly on Norby. The money goes to you directly through Stripe. And yeah, you collect emails, you collect information, all that stuff. You could embed the sign up forms for stuff on your website too. So just everything I need for that content delivery.
And I noticed that they specifically mentioned the word podcast right here. So I mean, they're reaching out to y'all directly.
Yeah.
So can the audio feed actually be assessed on the app? Is it an app or is it just a website that you
Nah,
get to?
it's so it's a website.
Hmm.
So it's not like a launch your podcast, like it's not podcast hosting, it's more so like your community. I think that's probably why they put it in there. Basically, they know who their users are, who uses them, and they know how their tool could help certain users reach certain goals. So like understanding your audience. I personally don't want to rely on Instagram or any social network where I have to battle an algorithm to communicate with people for my podcast. So
Yeah.
if I want that one-to-one communication, I just want your email or I just want your phone number and let's talk back and forth. So
Okay.
yeah,
Look,
yeah,
see, look at that.
web-based.
This man coming bringing value already. Y'all better
Yeah,
keep up because Walter's are telling us about
right.
Norby.
I need that
never
clip
heard
to
about
send them over to Norby. I need this to go to Norby so they can
What-
send me something.
what you need is your affiliate link so we can
Oh,
get
I
you
got that. I got that.
Here, send it in the private chat for Ecamm because you're not authorized to put links in my feed. So you have to yes, put that in the interview chat, dog. Cool. Love it. What about you, Steve? I hinted at Substack, so I know I see because you got so much going on. Talk to me about because you made a switch. You were using LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
And then why to move over to Substack and tell folks who may not understand or may not know what Substack is, what it is that you're doing with that, because I think that's a real good move.
I think it kind of goes back. A lot of this goes back to conversations that we had probably, I want to say last year when we were talking about, doing things on, borrowed land versus kind of sort of your own. While Substack is, of course, just it's another platform. I'm able to own the content and own the email list and the connections. And so, the reason why, one of the main reasons why I moved from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a really great platform, but for connecting and I think making those initial connections.
Yeah.
But if you really were trying to grow your business and grow your influence, you want to be able to take people off of that platform and bring them onto your own. And you want to be able to really kind of control the conversation, very similar to what Walt was saying. You're not really beholden to an algorithm. On Substack, you're kind of beholden to your effort. Substack is really I know it's built for newsletters, but it's just so much more than that. It actually allows you to create your own unique environment, around your content. So twofold, you can do written content and you can also do audio content. So what I've been doing with Substack is actually I produce a weekly newsletter. But then what I've also been doing is I do an 11 a.m. Audio room on LinkedIn. And what I've been able to do with those audio rooms is exactly what you see right there. Is actually I've been able to take those audio files and upload them over to Substack, because we all know that not everyone's going to be listening to your audio rooms. And then more importantly, once you do the audio room, it's gone.
Yes.
And so now I'm able to record that as another piece of content and bring it over to my Substack. And the reason why I did that was because exactly that. I wanted people to be able to hear and listen and learn more about my content. And so Substack allows me to kind of have a really good housing spot for all of my content, but also allows new people to kind of come in and experience what we're trying to do with Worthy Retail.
And I see you put and I love what you did. I see you put a paywall up. I don't like the word paywall. No, hold on.
I know.
It's premium. I will say that premium
Yeah.
content.
Invitation to premium content.
Right. So upgrade to paid, right? So people get it for free if they catch you early in the morning on LinkedIn when you're out there killing it. But listen, if you want that replay, if you want to get that either one-on-one kind of conversation, you got to upgrade to paid.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that and I was talking to Corey about this too, is that, you know, there's no, honestly, can I just be honest? There's no more free stuff. There's no more free stuff, right?
That's where I was. That's where I was going to go, right? Because you get what you pay for, and if you're going to give everything away, where's your value? To be honest with you, go ahead.
The articles are free. The articles, the weekly articles are free. But this other additional content, you know, that, you know, I've been able to kind of curate, if you will, for senior retail leaders, right? Yeah, I put the audio piece behind the paywall. And the interesting thing is that sometimes you don't think that people are going to like pay. What I mean is that when I started Substack, I didn't think about, you know, I set it up where people can actually pay you. You're showing it right there. And I've actually been able to have several people actually, you know, provide, you know, whether it's the foundation, you know, membership or the monthly. And I said that to say is that if you are a business or you're a content creator and people really resonate with your content, you will find an audience that will actually pay you for, you know, pay you for that content, right? I think about it in this context of a value ladder, right? Where initially people learn from some of your free content. It could be your podcast, it could be your articles, it could be interviews, but then they're getting value from that, right? But there's no interaction with you. Then as they continue to go up that value ladder, they're still getting, you know, the same value, but they're getting closer to you and to the person who actually curated that content. And so now the value of that engagement and interaction goes up. And so the Substacks allows for that initial, maybe that second tier level of engagement. And then we kind of go offline where they can actually kind of have a conversation with, we talk about coaching or training their leadership team.
This man right here is out here trying to take over the world. I ain't mad at that. That's when I saw that you made that move from LinkedIn, I said that was actually a smart thing because again, you own both your content. I think I don't like the word own for your audience, but you own your audience as well. And if you're driving them to a platform where you more control and you can have advertising, not have advertising, have marketing, not have but it can be in your realm. You control all of that information that your audience sees. And a lot of times you get a lot of noise on a lot of other different platforms because you're not paying for it. You're on their platform. But when you control the narrative, it's all Steve Worthy and it's all his insight and it's all his experts coming on. So I give you these flowers, brother. I'm trying to take these flowers.
I got them.
I got a flower too, because you're actually giving the audience what they want too. Because if you depend on like LinkedIn or something, like I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say like, "Oh, I had no idea this was here, didn't get notified." Even if you turn on notifications, you won't always know, you won't always see it. So you're helping the people out.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
come on, trying to do big things here, closing out 2023, getting ready 2024. Listen, I'm out here live on Facebook. I'm not a fan of Facebook, but I'm on Facebook because you know they still send some checks. So I'm gonna do Facebook, definitely on YouTube, and the audience is on Twitter. Man, that's where my folks are. So I know you're out there, folks. Come on over to YouTube so you can leave some comments and so you can engage. I put a notice out in the Opus Clip Discord, and I'll probably go through some Opus Clip office hours types of things as well. So we can do all that. This is just open for conversation, open to engage, open to interact. Gretchen, we see you in the building. Appreciate you for being here, my friend. Corey, let's talk.
I just got on Opus.
What you just get on, man? You see, I put your link in there too.
Oh no, go to Corey. Go to Corey.
Okay, because we're trying to get you some cash. We're trying to get you some cash, man. I'll put your link out there in the thing. So before y'all jumped on, me and Corey were talking about distribution of his content and being cognizant of being global.
Oh,
right? Being
Mm.
cognizant of being global when we turn these lights on, when we press record, and when we distribute our information. So not just English. Like you
Yeah.
may have somebody in Germany, you may have someone in India, and how to maybe use applications, maybe how to use platforms, how to use technology to help disseminate and distribute that information as well. He said he's an iOS man, so listen, I'm all about. Where are my captions? Hold on,
Yeah. Yo, can I give Corey his flowers for a second,
put my
James?
captions hat on before. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey.
Corey has been like sort of the mastermind for me with Substack.
Okay.
So Corey was on me for a while to get on Substack. He was like, yo, son, you need to go on Substack. I'm like, whatever. Oh, dude, yo, you need to do it. And I'm like, all right. And two New Yorkers going at it. And but he's 100%. And I mean, I was, James, I'm up late or I'm up early, and I'm like, Corey, how do you do so and so? He's like, oh, you do, and he was there, and he was there, and he would answer me like without fail. To the point where I didn't need Corey anymore, but he pushed me out of the
I passed you, Corey.
he kicked me out of the nest. It's like, okay, I'm done talking to you. You need to figure this out yourself.
Well, he showed you how to fish, right?
Yeah,
He showed you one time
Nah,
how to put the worm on the hook.
actually, sometimes Steve would text me, and I'm like, I didn't get the text for like an hour, 2 hours later. he was forced to go out the nest.
Exactly. Because here's the funny part, because I would text him something, and then like it'll be like an hour later, I'd be like, I'm good, I got it, I figured it out. I was like, I think he did that on purpose. I don't think he
that tough love.
Nah, man, like you be texting me, I'm in the movie theater or something, or I'm driving somewhere. And it's like, and I turn off my notifications for a lot of things, so I don't see it till I check my phone.
So I got yours up on the screen right now, and again, loving the fact that you've got the premium content available. So you got your monthly, you got your annual, and then you just give them a little taste with the free side. Occasional public posts, but now you want to update.
Well, I got to
23%
update
cheaper and all that stuff. What?
Yeah, I got to update this because over the course of the past year, the whole platform has changed, and I have a writing team now. I have different people come and do different types of content. I'm adding somebody else this week.
Okay.
I'm currently on
a couple other people actually doing some onboarding. So the goal is to make this like a trade paper. So a lot of our subscriptions come from just people saying that they're supporting what we're doing versus I'm going to start working on putting some stuff, some exclusive content behind the paywall. But right now, most of our content is open to the public because it's information that we're trying to promote podcasters. We're trying to promote content creators that are contributing to the newsletter. So that's where I'm at with this right now. So I take a little different approach. And Steve, no, I'm passing the flowers back to Steve. Steve gave me an idea where which I'm going to work on in 2024, which is adding an audio component of the newsletter. So I keep saying I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, that
it.
just makes sense for the Black Podcasters Association to have podcasts.
As we all know, got to make the time, and you got to set aside the time and the resources to do it. And that's the problem. The biggest resource is time.
I have a question on that. The audio, is it like uploading an audio file, or is it like RSS feed?
Well, we got to figure that one out.
It's a file. It's a file for now. I'm not particularly sure if they're going to start with the RSS feed. Well, here's the thing. I'm lying. You can actually set up your own podcast,
right?
And you can actually utilize the RSS feed from whatever your host is. So if you go on mine, you can actually see Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy, the podcast. So they're actually able to actually, and I can then embed that podcast. But for what I do, so that's separate. But and that's not a paywall. The paywall stuff is what I do for the 11 a.m. Content. That's what I do for from that perspective too. The other thing that Corey, Corey turned me on to, or we were talking about it, he was like, I'm not sure how to do it. I was like, I figured it out. It was like recommendations. So let's say you have people who have similar content to you on Substack, you can recommend their their newsletter.
Hmm.
I've received I think 6 people from Black Podcast News for subscriptions for my newsletter. I think I received a total of like 24 from other publications from a subscription standpoint. So the one thing the community side of it is another thing I love about Substack, is because, and I've recommended like five different newsletters, and I think I've sent them probably, I want to say it's almost been 25 and 25, right? So that's the other piece that I actually really like about that platform as well.
Gotcha. Oh, I see.
Love it. Gretchen out here saying she started a new podcast as well, and Substack made it completely easy for her. I'm not even going to try to say the name, Gretchen. Napa. Hold on. I'm not going to disrespect you.
Napod
What he said. What the guy up there said. What the young cat said. Right. Again, he's got more energy than me.
I know. Like, I'm about to take a nap, man. Hurry up and finish with this conversation.
I know. Hey, we're gonna be done by the time my Oregon State Beavers go out there and play. So don't get it twisted. We gonna be done. So I got to watch my game. I got to watch my games. So let's get into this. I did want to show Corey and talk a little bit about captions.ai. And I just advocate for them. I'm not directly incentivized by them. Well, they have sent me a lot of stuff. Okay. Fantastic platform, desktop on PC and on Mac. Also Android.
Wait, they have a desktop?
iOS. Yes, sir. But I'll send you the link. They got the desktop that's in beta, and we're testing as well. So you probably know about it, right? So you can.
I got it on my phone. Yeah.
Okay. So you know the value of it already, then, right? Being able to create the dynamic captions on the screen on your micro content, being able to do punch ins, punch outs, being able to add in AI music, do all the things that you want to do for distribution. But they got the AI voice as well, so you can record, and you can say, do this language, do German, do Indian, do whatever, right? And it will automatically convert the voice and the text and the speaking to that language. Yeah. And it's very good, and it sounds very close to what you. It's. I liken it to Descript's overdub. So Descript has overdub, where you train the algorithm to understand your voice, and if you mess up during your audio recording, it can do the filler words, and that actually, it's very close to that. That's how I've been describing it to folks. But you can go try it, man. Go record something or put in a piece of content and tell what the function is. I think it's AI transcribe is the actual function.
Oh man!
So it does a whole bunch of languages.
It's called AI dubbing. Translate your voice, and you can record it in English and say, "No, you know what? Now I want this in French." And next thing you know, Corey's speaking French. It's hot.
So does it?
How do I know that it's actually saying what I'm saying though?
Well, I can't help you with all the things. I can only help you with some of the things.
You gotta trust.
Well, I guess the transcript.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you go. You get put the transcript through Google Translate and just make sure it's not calling somebody something that you don't want it to be called.
So does it do jive?
African American. You know what?
They based out of New York, so they right up the street from y'all. They based out of New York. Shouts out to Eli. Shouts out to Mara. Because I'm gonna send them this clip right here. Go holla at them. They working on all the language. I think there's like 30 languages in there right now.
You know what though? Honestly though, if they really got that down though, that's gonna that's gonna separate them from the others, because the AI and translating just speak.
No, that's hot, right? I mean, you think there's a couple of platforms that I'm looking at just dropping because captions, and I just pay for the annual subscription, and there's a couple of other ones that I'm saying, listen, I can just do everything from the desktop side and also from the mobile side when we out there doing our thing. This is going to be it right here. Captions.ai.
They got a free trial?
Look, man, how much, all that money you got, all that retail money you got. Hold on.
I get invited to Boston. And
I know, man.
Like I said, do they got a free trial? Yo, I got to keep this. I got to keep this and build.
I want to say more, but this brother here, oh my God. I don't know if there's a free trial. No, because again, it's one of those things you get what you pay for. You don't have to pay for the for the annual. You can pay on a monthly basis. So go for 1 month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay, that's good. I like that. I like that.
Go for 1 month.
I like that.
Let's see.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
I don't
they
know
got
what
that
it is.
eye contact. Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
the eye contact is hot too. I've tried that. So here's what I just recently did. It'll do AI scripting as well. So I'll give it a prompt and I'll say, give me a 60-second script for YouTube video on best camera lenses used. It'll write that whole script out for me. I'll interject and add my own in. It's got a teleprompter feature built into the app as well. So I'll sit here like this and record the video, the short,
Mm-hmm.
then bring in the captions afterwards, then do all the fancy stuff, then bring in the music, and then upload that to YouTube and up to TikTok and Instagram and all that. And that way I've just created another piece of content because I'm trying to put out a short a day because that they've been hidden. The shorts have been hidden. Everything's in the shorts shelf have been hidden and resonating, and that's really where I'm gonna start putting a lot more attention into, just to get again that 30-60 second attention span of folks, as opposed to something like this 45 minutes 60 minutes kind of thing. Not everyone has the time to check this whole session out, so check them out, man. Captions.ai. Go do your thing.
I got it right here.
Pay for it.
I'm definitely gonna play around with it because I always try to figure out tools and stuff that I can bring to the community as well. So I'll definitely check it out.
You really are the QVC of this media tech stuff,
QVC.
Like, don't watch this channel. Don't watch this channel unless you're ready to spend some money.
Not unless you got your Visa with you.
Yeah, he always sending me, yo, do you check this one out? I'm like, dude, stop.
I don't like this, yo.
Like, stop sending me stuff, James.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to block you.
I've had to help reform Cher. I've had to kind of calm her down because she like literally would be like walking around with like AppSumo, like a interest with like the little IV with AppSumo.
AppSumo the truth, man. Hey, there it is right there. Black Friday is coming too.
I just came out of rehab. Like, chill, man.
So, here's a funny part. I'll be like, yo, do you have an app? And this is the benefit, right? I'm like, do you have an app for this? Like to create like little quick, like to capture like testimonials. She's like, yep. And I'm like, there you go.
AppSumo got their own kind of chat wizard thing where you could do that same thing, just asking in the chat window, and it'll send you directly to the app that relates to it.
You talking about Ask Sumo, where you can put in
something like that?
Yeah,
I think maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, and you got to be careful too, though, right? Because it's a good deal, a good value to get in on a lifetime deal, but a high percentage of these companies are brand spanking new. And they may make it, they may not make it, just depending on how many people buy and how much funding they get and all that. But some of them pretty early stages on. But there's been some hits. Ecamm started out on AppSumo.
Yeah,
y'all know that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Norby, the thing I mentioned, it was on AppSumo as well.
Yo, James, I got a question for you, bro.
Holla.
So, what do you think about the new option that ChatGPT put out with the GPTs?
I am looking at it. I'm evaluating it. I'm probably going to go with Grok. I'm probably going to go with what Elon is building because I'm an investor in the company. You see the wall here. I got two of the cars. So I like the technology that the man puts out. I'm putting all my business out there, right? So I think that's the direction that I'm gonna go because he's actually going to put Grok in the cars as well. So it's positive. There's pros and cons, man, because it's moving so darn fast, and folks have the ability to do so much at the drop of a hat. Just either creating content, creating, writing their books, writing their stories, creating video, creating photo, right? Just you can do so much now with the evolution of generative AI, and then now with GPT-4 coming out, and then the fact that you can create your own GPT client, that's hot, right? It's you think of the Jetsons. We here now, right? So Corey, you can make your own Black Podcasters Association GPT client, and you feed it the information, and then Steve comes
It's
in with
already
the prompt.
started. It's
Right,
already
right. But
started.
again, so that's
Hey,
at
bring
your
that screen share
fingertips
back
right
up.
now. That's at your for what is it, $14 a month or however much it is to upgrade to premium for $20 a month upgrading
Yeah.
in the hands of the everyday
Yeah.
consumer. So I as a technologist am excited about it. I as a consumer am anxious about it, concerned about it, because again, if and when it falls into some hands that probably have a misguided use for it, there could be
Yeah.
trouble. I don't like a lot of regulation, but somebody needs to step in and probably put something down on paper and say, "Hey, you probably shouldn't do this. You probably shouldn't do that." So I'm caught. I'm caught in between things.
Yeah, it's all good until Grok takes you to like that bad neighborhood and they lock
You
your
see what
door.
I'm saying? You know, Elon don't care about me. I know he sent me down the wrong street.
Where James? Where James? Last time I saw it, he was in that generative AI
Ask
car.
Gronk. Ask Gronk what happened.
Yeah, last time we saw him, I be trying to hit him up on Twitter. He doesn't respond to me. I don't know why. Again, I'm an investor in the company. I got 2 of the vehicles. Right? Okay.
You gotta put that in the bio.
He know.
Most
He know.
investor.
He know. He know. You know. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
secretly watching right now.
He
Right?
probably is. He's
Oh.
got somebody watching. He's
He's
got.
number
Well, we got to act right though, because we got Miss Eileen in the building. So I'm gonna stop dropping them 4-letter words, because I need to act right. I need to act right. So appreciate you for being here, also, my friend. Why? So Corey, why do you ask me about that? What are your thoughts on generative AI? How fast generative AI has been moving and transitioning, especially as us as creators, and how we are going to leverage it. Right? I told you I'm going with that platform. At the end of this month, when I can stop my Premium X or Twitter subscription and then upgrade to Premium X or Premium Plus, that includes Grok, I'm gonna do that to see what that functionality is out, because that's our job, right? Our job is to test and beta test and then try to figure out what's going on and then tell folks about it. So I'm going to do that. But what are your thoughts on what's going on?
I just recently heard about the whole Elon's version, so I'm not too aware of it, but I like it so far. I actually was showing Walt and Steve before we came on here what I was doing with it. My goal is to try to figure out how to create some tools for my members in the community that they can use that for to help. I guess I've been waiting for this day since I was a little kid, watching the Jets, like you said, Jetsons earlier, and just watching all this stuff. I kind of welcome the chaos. I'm not a fan of regulation either, but it's going to eventually sort itself out. I think you need the chaos, and I think you need that now for it to figure out what works, what doesn't work.
It's disruptive.
It's disruptive.
And then I like disruption, so that's the premise I built my community on, was being disruptive. So
that's podcasting, right?
Raising awareness.
Yeah, podcasting was born out of disruption, man.
And I'm not, and having people in my circle around me that work on these projects, I kind of have a better understanding than the general public on how it works. So, I do think I do have shared the same concern. Like, what if it gets in the wrong hands? And I kind of, I don't want to say it's in the wrong hands, but I kind of see where it's going in regards to what I see on like YouTube, social media, how people are just spinning up all these different products and stuff, and just like doing these heavy advertising campaigns. But at the end of the day, it's like any tool. How you use it in your hands is what's important, right? And how you figure out how to use it for yourself and what you're trying to accomplish, to me, is where I think people should really be concentrating on.
That's the conversation. I think the onus is on us as, quite frankly, leaders within the digital ecosystem to tell folks, right? Yeah, you can take advantage and you can use all this stuff, but be smart and be cognizant of what you're doing, right? There's with all of this information comes great power, and if you don't know how to take advantage and use that power and that information, there could be trouble. So the Walters, the Corys, the Steves, right? We tell our communities that, I can show you X, Y, and Z platform. I can show you this. and it can
Right.
do that. But be aware of pros and cons and consequences and all of those things, and then let the end user, let the onus is on them then, right? You've done your due diligence. You've told them this could do this stuff for you, and it can also do that. It could be detrimental or it could be a positive asset. Then the onus is
Yeah.
on them, I think.
I
That's
think there's
facts.
a
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Steve.
Walt. Go ahead, Walt. I'll let the youngster go first. Go ahead.
Appreciate the old man. Yeah, I was just talking to someone about this video editing tool just started using this past week that basically did what I would do manually in like a couple hours. It did it in like 30 minutes. And I was like, oh, wow, this is great. But it still needed a human element to make the necessary adjustments to make sure it still looked good. It still communicated the message effectively. And then also just like sometimes it's just like the not that great of a selection, or I have to change the selection around. So I think like with all these tools, you have to remember they really are just tools. It's not like the robots replacing us. It is like a tool, like a hammer that helps you just hit a little harder. You still got to aim the hammer properly.
So what tool was that? Because this could be a perfect segue for me to do my Opus. What tool was that you were doing?
Oh, it was Opus. Opus
Okay.
Clips. Just started using it. I'm liking it. I'm glad I signed up. It still requires some human element, but yeah.
It does.
I've known I've known these cats since day zero. I've had young Rebecca. I've had the founders of Opus in this studio, in this room. We went and broke bread when they were building another tool, another platform, and they wanted to do a live on the scene live stream tool. And I was supposed to take it to CES. You remember that, right? It was back in November of last year. And I said, man, this ain't it. I don't have anything to do with them coming up with this great tool. I just said, man, but there's something missing, right? It just doesn't fit the need. Young went back with his crew, and they came up with Opus Clip and hired and found a lot of creators, top creators that are out there making a lot of noise and doing a lot of good things. And they've become the de facto standard, right? There's other ones out there that are doing good stuff. And I will mention, so the Mementos of the world, Capsule, Munch, content. There's a lot of other tools out there doing Choppity, which is a young black couple actually based in the UK that starts. So it's called Choppity. Check them out too. They're pretty dope. But there's a lot of tools that are out there doing it, but it only gets you to about 80%. There's still that element, like what was saying. You still got to go in there and tweak it. You still got to go in there and do some adjustments, man. So I think they're winning. To be honest with you, I think the growth of the platform was probably a little bit surprising to them. That so many people jumped onto the platform so quick and started taking advantage of it. Now it's gotten to the point where I can actually tell if someone's using Opus, right? I can actually tell just by the cuts and by the way that the captions look if they're using Opus, and that I actually don't like that. That's why I left Canva, because I could tell everybody that was using Canva was using Canva. So that's why I moved to a platform called Simplify, because I'm just weird like that. I don't like to be using the same tools everyone else is using. But no, Opus is the truth, man. Opus is the truth.
No, I remember I did a live stream with Connor. I want to say September. Was it September last year? And then I actually did I want to say like 3 or 4 live streams when they were Opus live, if I'm not mistaken, Opus live stream. And you know, the feedback that I had was, because the other thing was that, and James, you know this too, is that it's like I kind of bleed eCam, everything that I do. And so I always kind of looked at everything kind of almost in that lens. And I was like, okay, how can they use this live stream platform and have some uniqueness? Because eCam and then what's the other one? StreamYard. They all have their own unique, user base. And I remember it just kind of like fell off. Like it was just like they just stopped. And I was like, okay, all right, well, that's a good thing, because there's some of the functionality and like the things falling down and stuff like that. It's like, I can do all that. I can do all that with eCam. I think the dopest part that they had that and I don't know if you were part of, I don't know if you, I think you did, I think you sent one when they had the live stream, was that you could submit, I could send a link and you can record a video, and then I can actually like upload that video as a
Yeah, and
question.
respond to it.
Right?
Like
Melon
video
stole that.
ask.
Well, I'm not gonna say Melon, either Melon or Be Live. I'm not gonna say they even stole that, but they took advantage of that same type of. I gotta watch what I
It was
say.
that was the best part. That was the best part. And then
Damn,
yeah,
These transcripts going to show up in court documents.
you see what I'm saying? I got to watch what I say because
I know.
they owned by Logitech and they got big money. I gotta watch what I say. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
It might be good because it's not Melon anymore. So.
Well, I'm
There you
still
go.
using Melon.
Absumo deal. No.
Yep.
Hilarious. But no, okay. So let me do this, man. Let me be cognizant of folks' time. But again, just for creators that are on here, Eileen's saying, yeah, she's gonna watch me when I do a grok. But this is a huge thing in terms of just pushing out content, pushing out information, and especially when we do our sessions, because we are so proud of the content that we create, because every time we go live, we know it's excellent. We know it's excellent, and we know that there's going to be value if to share it. So something like an Opus clip, allowing us to now have not just a 9:16, not just a portrait. So so not just that aspect ratio, but landscape as well. So being able to push it out to YouTube, being able to push it out in the square format to Instagram and to LinkedIn. So meeting your audience where they are. If your audience is only on LinkedIn and they're never going to come to TikTok or YouTube or whatever, you can create the content in the micro format in their desired format and look and feel.
Yeah.
Something like this right now, we got 4 people on the screen looking. I can create and customize and make the clip look exactly like that, the way I want it to. Us 4 plus the screen, so it'll do screen sharing as well. Anything that takes out steps in the workflow. That's what raises my eyebrow, right? Because to what Corey was saying, man, there's just so many hours and so many minutes in the day, and if I can find something that just helps me with just 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, even just to be able to ease that workflow, man, that's hot.
That's what sold me on Opus. They had the calculator, and they showed me how many hours I'm saving by using their tool, and I was like, okay, that's
Here's the I think one of the biggest benefits that a lot of people who are even business owners don't really understand that they can utilize this to take advantage of, is because this, and we just spoke about it, a whole bunch of generative AI, right? You know, that has allowed people to create a boatload of content nowadays, right? Especially like on platforms like LinkedIn, TikTok, all these other, X or whatever you want to call it. What is it? It's not Twitter. The anti-Twitter.
Yeah.
Anti-Twitter.
Oh,
there you
wow.
go.
Yeah.
It's X. I know. I'm just messing around. But it's allowed people to create a whole bunch of content, but what we know as business owners, but also as content creators, it is the individual connection that that cuts through the noise, right? And so, regardless of how much written content and things like that are out there, you cannot replace an actual video of you speaking about something with authority, and then being able to take a bigger piece of content and cut it up into more authoritative slices, right? And I think that's where, and that helps cut through the noise of like all of the other people who are just pushing, all of this AI generated stuff, even though this is sort of AI generated, because it actually takes that information, but it is still you speaking.
Yes.
It is still you, providing the value. So I think a lot of business owners, not just content creators, but like business owners, entrepreneurs, need to really think about utilizing Opus Clip as well.
Done. Right. Or Opus Clip or just something as well to help with that workflow. And today they are winning. There's other ones that are close by. There's others that are similar, but I think are pricing themselves out of the market. Those I won't mention the names, but but there are other ones that are popping up left and right, and I'm seeing them also fade by the wayside. But there's a pretty good squad wrapped around the Opus Clip platform, and they iterate all the time, iterate all the time. So yeah, shouts out to them.
Yeah, I think that's James. I think that's one of the things that we loved about the Ecamm community. I know we're
Yeah.
we're talking about content creation and like tools and things like that in tech. I think that's the one thing that we fell in love with the Ecamm community, just around there. And this goes for anybody that's trying to start a community too. Is that the ability for you to be able to provide feedback and they actually utilize that feedback in a timely fashion was so important. And they would iterate. Someone would suggest something within 2 to 3 days. They would pump out, a new version, right? Or they actually allowed us to, use the beta. And I always use the beta because the beta, of course, had the most up to date things. But the level of engagement that community had was ridiculous, and I think Opus kind of is starting to do that. I'm thinking about Jay-Z and what's the name? I think Opus is doing the same thing. They're allowing people to they're iterating really quickly based off of the feedback that they're receiving from the community. So if you are an entrepreneur, a content creator, if you haven't built a community, if you're not listening to your community around what it is that they really want, like shame on you. Like take lessons from Opus Clip and Ecamm, things like that. Even Black Podcasters Association, BPA, they kind of listen sometimes to feedback.
See,
Hey,
Just
you was
sometimes.
he was going on a good strike there for a minute. He was going right.
Can't help himself. He can't help it.
You just had to throw in that little extra rib kidney punch. I was gonna say we're gonna end the show on that note, but then
my bad.
2 steps forward, half a step back.
We gotta have a whole nother topic now.
Lord, no, we done. I'm through with y'all. Gretchen's leaving, so I'm leaving too. She's got to go to basketball practice. So, all right, brothers. I tell you what. I wanted to be cognizant of time. I wanted to do this. I want to just chop it up with folks. I may want to reach out to y'all on a regular basis and just when you get a chance. I know y'all got your other things going on.
Oh, I'm here.
Can't mess with the guy in California, but it's okay. I still reach out. To see what we can do. Saturday mornings, my time. This is a good time for me. Hopefully, we can work in it with y'all as well. Corey's always out there on a plane going somewhere. Walter's out there. I'm gonna be stopped. Tell the folks where each of you are and where folks can catch up with you. We'll start with you, Corey, man, because you came on first, so we're gonna go with you first, brother.
You can find me on all social media platforms. You can I'm on Twitter as I_am_Corey Gums, or you can follow me on Black Podcasters Association on all platforms. We have so many different handles. I would just say search Black Podcasters Association. Also, if you're interested, you can subscribe to our newsletter, Black Pod News, blkpodnews.com as well, and catch up on what's going on inside the podcast industry.
Walter, what about you, brother?
You can find me literally everywhere. It's the Great Walt, ITS, the Great Walt, on all the platforms, but mostly active on LinkedIn, Walter Gaynor II. I was in their Creator Accelerator program, and since then I kind of found that community. So I'm always active on LinkedIn, or at least showing up in someone's comments. So yeah, don't just follow me, message me. Really want to, get to know who in my community, who's in my ecosystem. And James also put a little something in the guest chat just to show off Norby a little bit, and just an example of what it looks like when you connect everything with tools. There's a lot of different tools out there. Norby isn't the only one. But yeah, bosslocks.norby. Boom.
Love it. Mr. Worthy, it's you.
Yeah, man. So Steve Worthy, best place is going to be over to LinkedIn. Steve Worthy. I always want to start the conversation there, and then we move it offline. But Worthy Retail is the name of the company. The newsletter is Worthy Retail News. So Worthy Retail is going to show up anywhere and everywhere, for you to connect with me as well. Podcast is Retail Leadership with Steve Worthy. We focus in on a lot of those unspoken challenges that senior retail leaders face every day. So that's where we are. So connect with me over on LinkedIn as well.
Man, he's some good cat. Oh, hold on. See, I had somebody else that was going to join, so wrong overlay.
Oh,
I didn't think y'all was going to actually show up, so I made one for somebody else. Yeah, I
And the
thought y'all
I'm
backups
gonna
was.
for
show up.
backups.
Yeah,
I
yeah, you
thought
always
y'all
got
was
to
gonna
have
be
a backup.
trifling like that. So no, listen, appreciate y'all again, man. This was
Same
good
here, man.
stuff. This is where it's at. Victor, we see you jumping in, man. Appreciate you for also coming in. Check out the replay, man, because I think we dropped some good knowledge for folks. And I will see you next time. Technologist Forum, y'all. Y'all be good.
Have a
Peace.
good day.
Peace.